Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Capes, Cows, and Close Calls. My name is Nick. With me always is my co-host, Sean, the Irishman King.
What's up, everybody?
Bro, do you know how many times people have mistaken me saying my name as Nate?
It's surprising how many times.
A lot. So much so that I have to over-enunciate the K now. I make sure I over-enunciate the K so that people won't, and they still fucking do it. It just happened to me.
You don't mean from
Yesterday.
the podcast. You
No,
mean
not from the podcast.
Just in real life.
In real life, I'd be like, "Hey, my name's Nick." They'd be like, "Nate, Nick." It just
Maybe you
happened
go
to me.
straight Nicholas now.
I thought about it.
I mean, Talia calls you Nicholas.
She does. Only the women in my life call me Nicholas. Talia and my mother. So there's that.
Did Talia start because she heard your mother do it?
No, absolutely not.
I mean,
No. I think she just did it.
because you didn't introduce yourself as Nicholas.
No, I only go by Nicholas in like professional settings. So like work wise, like all my stuff. You know, like how some people will use their like nickname or shortened name even in like their professional setting.
Yeah.
Like their email address won't be their full name; it'll be their nickname or like their email sign. Like you get an email from them, and it won't say Nicholas; it'll say Nick. Mine isn't like that. Mine says Nicholas.
But
Like,
when you sign it,
I think I put in my signature Nick, but normally I put Nicholas. Like in professional settings, I usually use my full name.
interesting.
But just
then,
yesterday-
I mean, if you did that, then you would stop getting Nate.
Yeah, and I don't understand it, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
I
my name's
really-
Nicholas. They're like, Nathaniel?
bro, I don't get it. Cause just yesterday, I was at Chick-fil-A. You know how you don't go to Chick-fil-A at all.
Not very often.
But they always ask you. They're like, "Hey, can I get a name for the order?" And I'm like, "Nick." And they're like, "Did you say Nate?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" No, Nick. So now, like, if
Well, you gotta project more, man. Why are you saying it so quietly?
maybe that's what it is. Maybe I mumble. But no. So I have to be like, "Hey, my name's Nick." Like I basically make it into like
Yeah,
a
cool.
Nick, yeah, literally. Like, my name is Nick. Nick. It's just
Interesting.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why I thought about that.
You know, I get Shane.
Based on the spelling? Or
Based on the spelling.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I've never said Sean the Shane, but I'll go Sean. But I'll go and like hit a Teams call. Hey Shane, and I'm like, well, where have you been living?
Yeah, that is
Hey, you haven't seen this spelling of Sean before.
that is crazy to me, honestly. I mean, to be fair, before I met you, I hadn't seen it spelled like that. I had only ever seen it spelled SHAWN.
I was just having this conversation with Andrea. You know how long it took me to find an SHAWN?
How long?
I want to say junior high. Maybe it happened more like high school.
I think that's where the cultural differences come into play, Sean. Because that's very much the Irish spelling of it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I hadn't even really known a white person until high school, let alone an Irish person. You know what I mean? So like, I had only seen SHAWN.
So when you saw my name, we were like, the fuck is that?
I kind of, yeah. I was like, he spells it like this. That's weird. Why does he spell it like this?
I like how you're judging me like I came up with it. Why would he do that?
Why
I did it,
would he
Nick.
do that?
My parents chose
Why
it.
would he make this decision?
You know there's an
yeah,
accent in
weird.
my name.
Is there really?
Yeah, there's an accent over the E.
In Sean or in Keen?
And Sean.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like that's on your birth certificate?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I used to put it. I don't anymore.
I guess you don't have to anymore because people know it's spelled Sean, but...
I don't think the accent would have helped him anyways.
No, it wouldn't. I think it would have threw people off. Because I would have saw
I
that.
used to
and I'd
just
be
like
what
it
the
because it was
fuck
like
is-
interesting.
Yeah.
Like something unique. Because, you know, my letter, you know, much like you shortening your name.
If
My name's only 4 letters.
Yeah, if I had saw your name spelled and then you introduced yourself and said your name was Sean, I'd immediately would have hated you. I'm like, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
But again, it wouldn't
With
have
this
been my
goddamn
choice.
I know. This goddamn accent in his name. Who the fuck are you? Sean. Get the fuck out of here. This goddamn, you pretentious piece of shit. I've been so mad. I don't know why. But
I'm gonna start doing it
so
again.
Annoyed. I mean, yeah, names are weird, man. Because it's also funny because, like, my family, they spell Nick without a K. They just spell it N-I-C. And it always throws me off. Because even I spell my name with a K. But they all spell it N-I-C, including my mother. Like, whenever she says Nick, it's just N-I-C. I'm like, why did we not...
You ever ride back with a K?
No, I haven't.
My name.
I don't know why they decided to just drop the K.
Is that a cultural thing?
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think it's just a my family thing. Because
Okay.
every other Nick I've ever met, black, white, or other, has always spelt it. You always put the K. Like,
You would think because your mother does it that you would do it.
no. It always threw me off that she did it. Because in school, here's the thing. In my, like, elementary school, there was literally always another Nick in my classes.
I had that too. There's always another Sean.
I'm sure.
It was still spelled Sean.
That's crazy. So, like, they all, like, teachers always spelled it with a K. It was always Nick with a K. So I just thought that's the way you're supposed to spell it. So whenever I would see, and I mean, you got to think, like, before texting, I never saw my mom spell my name out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she
Like,
never
I imagine
sent
if
it
she was
to
like filling out a form, she was putting Nicholas.
Exactly, right? So it wasn't until we started texting each other until I see her, she say, like,
I love
hey,
that
Nick.
back
and I'm
then
like, huh.
you could have corrected it.
I
And
know,
you
I know.
chose not to. And then here you are. Oh, you've had a phone?
I just ride with it. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I guess it just throws me off. I'm like, why?
How would you feel if I switched to Nicholas?
Again, I don't think it would bother me. I would just be more so be like, who the fuck are you talking to? What just happened?
I'm looking at you. You're looking behind you. Hey, who are you talking to?
I think I would immediately switch into like a serious, stern face and be like, who the fuck? Oh, never mind. Let me relax. But
Did
Yeah,
your
those
like when you were in trouble? Did your mom hit you with the
yes,
Nicholas?
yeah,
So it makes you.
yeah. It makes me be like, okay, what's happening?
Huh.
Yeah, throws
They had to add the middle name for me to be in trouble.
Garrett.
Yeah. So Sean Garrett, I'm in trouble.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom never did the middle name thing. She was never like, I think it's because, you know what it was? Yeah, it was because of that reason. You have a shortened name already. It's just Sean. But because I have the dual functionalities of my name, the short version and the long version, she just hit me with the long version. And funny enough, me and my brothers are all like that, right? Like it's Nicholas, Alexander, and Christopher. It's Nick, Alex, and Chris. So we all have the nickname within the name already built in. Maybe it's because there's no K in Nicholas that she just doesn't put
I mean, it's
the K.
if anything, what she's doing is probably more logical.
'Cause, like-
but everybody puts the K.
Because Christopher, when you just do Chris, all those letters are still there. The same thing with Alex and Alexander, all of those letters are still there. But I guess with Nick, the K is not
had to
there.
introduce a K.
Yeah, you have to add the K because I spell my name with an H, which is the normal way to spell it. Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on for another episode. Please listen more to the episode and then leave us a review.
True.
But yeah, interact with this episode in a way that you can.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe, hit
All
the link
links-
tree.
Yep, all links in the section, the doodly dad below. They're all there. So
Yeah.
have fun, please.
Have you thought of my question from last week at all?
I haven't actually.
No?
I mean, I did.
I really thought
but
you were gonna hit me with like, I got it.
I did, but I haven't come up with anything else.
Okay.
I gotta think more into it. When I was editing the episode and I was listening to it back, I was like, oh yeah, this was fun. And then I think I got mad because for some reason the audio like syncs up with part of the video and then just for some reason just like goes out of sync.
And this one in particular is just a regular.
Just this one specifically.
That's what always happened when I was doing it, which is why I told you this is my hell. Hell, man.
Never happened. I don't know
If
why.
I were to
with this
die
one.
today and go to
That's the hell
hell,
you've created for
that is
yourself?
what is happening to me.
You just had a
I
computer.
hated it so much because you would get it right and then you'd skip ahead like a minute and it'd be off again.
It'd be off, yeah. I'm like, and what's wild is that this one stayed on track for maybe like the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, actually, when we started talking about that, it just banked slightly, and I'm just like, wait, why the fuck? And this was after I had uploaded it to YouTube, so I'm like, wait, why is this off? And then I'm like, wait a second, and I'm like, I know I lined this bitch up, so I went back to the beginning, and the beginning's fine. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know what happened.
Have you checked the other episodes to see if this is a common thing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just this one.
Just this one.
Interesting.
I don't know what happened with this one, but yeah, just this one is doing that for some weird fucking reason. So sorry about that, guys. It's gonna be slightly off. It's like it's not super noticeable unless you're really paying attention to it, but it is off, and I'm just like, fuck, it's off by like a half a second.
I mean, I have to imagine people aren't looking that closely at our mouths.
No, probably not.
Especially because I think I kind of linger in front of the mic at times.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can't see it.
It's the most noticeable when we do like big gestures because you see the big gesture and then the word slightly, and you're like, oh wait, no, that's off. That's what made me notice it because I'm like, wait a second, this seems off, and sure enough, it was. Yeah. So but that's whatever, man. It's fine.
All right, think about it for next episode.
Yeah, I got you.
But what else has been going on, man? What's new? What's been on your mind?
What's been on my mind?
It's another deep question. What have you been pondering lately?
I got you. So I saw this guy talking about this, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. And I felt like you might not necessarily agree because I've seen you pull this bullshit before. So
what a start.
I know, right?
Please continue.
So this guy was basically talking about that there's a difference between a phone purchase and like a laptop purchase.
A phone purchase and a laptop purchase. Okay.
So his example was, and I again wholeheartedly agree. He said he saw his friend buying plane tickets on his phone. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not a phone purchase. Like, that's a laptop purchase. And I agree with that.
This is not what I thought you meant. I thought you meant when one is going to purchase a telephone or cell phone or purchase a laptop.
What
you mean what you would buy on either device.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Because I know.
So you don't get your plane tickets off your phone.
Hell no.
You're straight to your MacBook.
Yes.
Why?
I'm opening up multiple tabs.
Of all people.
I'm using private browsers to make sure that they're not fucking me with these cookies and stealing prices and shit. Bro, there's no way I'm making that big of a purchase on my phone.
Would it surprise you to know that I have also never purchased plane tickets on my phone?
Really?
Never.
Interesting. I've seen you look up so many plane tickets.
I look up flights often on my phone.
But you've never actually purchased any plane tickets on your phone?
Not that I can recall, no.
Interesting. So you feel like that's a laptop purchase?
Yes.
So what do you feel like, where's the line you draw it? Like what's a phone purchase and what's a laptop purchase?
It's an interesting question. I've never thought about it.
I'm a go-to laptopper. In general?
You're very, I mean, you got to open now.
Yeah.
I operated without a laptop for like a year.
I know. Like for me,
I don't, cause so like Amazon is so easy on my phone. Everything Amazon's my phone.
But I still go to the Amazon website on my browser versus on
I
my
need
laptop
you to
versus
step into 2025.
Listen, here's my thing. Big purchase is for big screens. Small purchases is for small screens.
That's a wild thought.
If I'm fresh out of deodorant and I need some deodorant from Amazon, I'll do that on my phone. But if I'm buying a new tablet, I'm not doing that on my phone. I'm going to my laptop to do that. Whether it's on Amazon or any other site.
Yeah, I'm going on my phone too.
That's crazy to me. Like, how are you making
I want to say like the
such
next
big decisions on a small
like the last time. Yeah, like I've definitely bought TVs from my phone.
That's crazy to me. There's no way in hell I'm buying a TV off.
I'd purchase a phone on a phone.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's like, it's equivalent. Even though that is a bigger purchase,
phones are expensive.
It's a phone on a phone. So it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. That one at least makes sense to me. But I'm not going to go buy a 65-inch television on my 6-inch screen.
Why?
Because I'm not making a decision that large.
Give me the rationale.
On a thing the size of a Pop-Tart, bro. Like, I need a big screen.
So what you're saying.
Big screens are for big purchases.
What I'm hearing is size matters.
It does in some cases.
So you're going on the record saying that size does in fact matter.
In some cases, yes. And this is one of those cases. Like, I'm just not... I'll make small, everyday purchases on my phone. So anything under like $50, I'll do it on my phone.
Your cutoff is $50?
That's not the...
Bro, I can't get onto Amazon and spend less than $50.
It's not a hard cutoff, but that's kind of like a general rule for me. Matter of fact, I have fucking Amazon pulled up literally right now on this computer.
Well,
I
what
just
is it?
opened it.
What is it about being on the bigger screen?
Also, this right?
Do you have trouble seeing?
I
Do we need to up your
create
prescription
lists.
on your glasses?
I mean, probably. I do have shitty eyesight. I create lists on my Amazon. Do you ever create lists on your Amazon?
No.
See, I create all types of lists, bro. I got a list for the comic books that I want, like the graphic novels that I want. I got a list for like house shit that I want. I got a list for fucking all types of stuff, bro.
So I think
Like I'm creating a list on here.
you're more of a shopper than I am.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think on the flip side, when I decide to buy something, I just fucking do it. No. I actually don't like seeing things in my cart. Like the save for later button, I hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
all
either
about
I'm
that.
buying it or I'm deleting it.
Nah, I'm all about that save for later button, bro.
And
I don't like seeing it in my cart.
Dia uses my Amazon. If she puts it and she does out, it's gone.
So you know
I did it the other day. I had to buy something. She had something in the cart, and she thought that I would just purchase her thing with my thing. No, I deleted that
Get
shit.
it out of here. You're engaged now, bro. That's how that shit works.
Honestly, the thing I thought she was thinking of, do we need this or not need this? I don't know if she's making the decision or not.
You say I made it for you.
I deleted it. If you want it, you can add it to the cart later.
Get it out of here. I'm done with it. What drives me crazy?
These mics? No, that's not true. The other mic I bought via my phone.
Yeah, that's wild to me. That's wild to me. So what drives me crazy that Talia does is she's not even a save for later person. Have you ever noticed that when you put multiple things in your Amazon cart, they all have a checkbox next to them?
Yeah.
So, and you can like check off the stuff you want to actually go and purchase, and then whatever you don't check off just stays in your cart.
In your cart.
That's what she fucking does. And it drives me insane. She'll have 12 things in her cart and just go and check off and then add more. And then just check off what she wants to purchase and leave the rest of the shit sitting in the cart.
Why?
I don't fucking know.
So she goes, is she doing like you're doing where she's making a list? Like she's getting
No.
similar items?
No, it's just in her cart. It's just chilling in her cart.
Yeah.
I make lists. I use that.
Delete all of it.
I use the shit out of that save for later button. I'm like, at minimum, babe, just put it in the save for later. Like it's right there. You just hit save for later. So then
I feel like I'd be accidentally purchasing things.
that's what I'm saying. Or either that, or it would drive me crazy having to check off every single time I want to just make a purchase. I'm just like, what kind of madness is this? Like, what kind of life were you living that you just have shit chilling in your cart? It's crazy to me. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah. So certain things, there's no way I'm buying off of my
I feel like if I need to really research something that I'm purchasing, that's the divide for me.
Okay.
Which
I
is
mean, that's
why,
fair,
like why plane tickets and like where I'm gonna stay, right? I'm gonna do a little compare, right? What's got better views? What's got a better view? I might get an Excel sheet going. All that shit's happening on the laptop. But if I'm going, like I don't see myself buying a tablet anytime soon. But if I was to purchase a tablet right now, I couldn't. I think I would be just like I'd probably getting it off Amazon, and I would just be like going and looking, and I might do very minimum research, and then I just purchase that bitch.
That's crazy.
I would probably just stick to either the latest Samsung and or iPad if I decided to go that route. And that's the shit I'm getting. It's easy.
Yeah.
I went to get my phone, had a crack in it, the one before this one.
Yeah.
And one day at dinner, it just was done. The screen was black. And I was like, this is the worst feeling. I have no phone anymore. And in that moment, zero research. I have T-Mobile. I went to a T-Mobile and I was like, I need a phone. No research I got. I walked out of that bitch with a phone. I was like, I probably want a Samsung. What's the latest Samsung? And then what's the one right below it? Because I'm not as technical as I was before.
Right.
And I don't really give a fuck anymore. And I got the one right below it. Done.
I mean,
Think about how much research I did with my car.
I know.
You went-
there.
You should look at a Corolla or a Camry. I was like, bet. We test drove 3 cars total. And the first car we test drove was essentially the car I got. We just got it from a different location because it was
True.
cheaper.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it.
I get that. But I'm not making that purchase off my fucking phone, though.
Why? It doesn't make sense.
It's a laptop purchase.
The ring light here, purchased off my phone.
This isn't a big purchase. This isn't a big purchase. This camera that we're using to record this,
You wouldn't do it.
Fuck
Why?
No. Big screens equal big
What
purchases,
if you
Sean.
so you would have done your research? Mm-hmm. Why are you going back to the laptop?
Something about it, man, just makes me feel more secure in that purchase. For me, it just feels.
I think if anything,
Making a big purchase off of a phone just feels too irresponsible. It feels
Why?
loosey goosey to me, and I just don't like the feeling. I want to see it. I
think you really got to look into yourself about what this means.
I don't want to see the mobile version of this site. I want to see everything that's supposed to be there. I want to see all the details and the fine print.
I feel like you definitely have a big screen thing, and I don't share that with you.
I do have a big screen.
I don't need the biggest TV. Fair. There were periods of my life when I had a tablet and I would be in a room with a TV and my tablet, and I'm watching what I want to watch on my tablet instead of the TV.
Bonkers to me. That's bonkers to me.
I've done that with laptops too.
Talia does that.
I watch it on my laptop. There's a TV in the back, and I'm not using it. I'm watching it on the laptop.
I've literally caught her sitting in the living room on her phone watching Netflix, and I'm like, "There's a 65-inch television. The remote is literally right next to you. We have an Apple TV. You don't even have to do any work. You can just do whatever you're doing on your phone right there."
I get it. I get what Talia does.
Crazy to me, bro. You know what? Maybe that is what I am a big screen kind of guy. Like, I just I'm not.
You've gotten to such a point. You have such a nice TV now that you question going to the movies because you think your TV experience at home is better.
That's true. Because it is.
Yeah. You got a big screen thing. Size matters to you, Nick, is what I'm saying.
I guess so, man. Big screens equal big purchases, and small screens are for small purchases. Okay. Let me know if you agree. Because I know I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy.
I got a question for you.
All right, bet. Hit me.
Mine's much more serious.
Okay.
A week 2 of a serious question.
Holy
Get
shit.
ready.
All right.
What is it? It's not that serious. What is it about comic books that those stories have brought you in that you keep going back to them?
Okay. What made you think of that question? Did you just think of that off the top?
No, I earlier. So okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background here. I had a deep conversation with Andrea yesterday. We went to dinner, and highlights. I'm not gonna get into crazy details, but we started with basically there's a shitty situation. I'm not even gonna tell you what the shitty situation is, but our way of breaking down the perspectives of the situation was similar, but it veered off at one point where and she actually pointed this up to me. She goes, this is your comic book thing, that you're a bit of an idealist. And she's like, this is one of the main things I love about you, that you really have this sense of the way that the world should be. And she's like, the world isn't the way that it should be, but you want to strive for that world. And her perspective is she knows the world isn't that way, and she can easily go and switch into empathy and see what the outside parties are coming from, and then worry almost about them, about their well-being. So I'm like, I'm almost the upset one of like, this is how you should handle this situation. I'm upset this person's not doing it. I understand their situation. And she's like, no. Like, they like, think about how messed up things must be for this person that they acted this way.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
So then I'm listening to a podcast today. And I'm listening to, I think I've told you, it's a bit of optimism. It's that Simon Sinek guy, and he's got Brad Meltzer, which is what's the award you win for comic books?
Eisner Award winner.
He's an Eisner Award winner.
What's his name?
Brad Meltzer, Meltzer. He won it for his Justice League of America run, which is in 2008, so it's not like recent.
Oh, okay, so it was a while ago. Okay.
And he's wrote...
Spell his last name again?
Meltzer.
Okay.
Meltzer? Is that how you would say it? I'm
Yeah.
bad with saying names.
Yeah.
You know what's about me. I'm the worst at it. And so I was listening to his podcast, and he's written for obviously Justice League. He's written Batman comic books. He's written Superman comic books. So he has like the podcast is not mainly about this, but he has a big chunk where he's talking about it. And he does. I actually wrote down because I want to bring it up to you. So I'm gonna go to my notes real quick.
Yeah. Take your time. Take your time.
He tries to write comic books, and he says that the best stories tell you something about yourself. And that's why he thinks that people go back to these characters and go back to these comic books.
I can see
And
that.
so I listened to this podcast. I had this conversation with Andrea last night. We have a whole podcast. We're so into comic books that we weekly get together. We talk about these things. And it's definitely become like a big part of my identity. Like people see me, comic book guy.
I agree.
Right?
Same.
Like it's
Same.
people are excited to come and talk to me about it. Sometimes like I got other interests, but like you know what I mean? Like we have this podcast.
I like to fish.
Yeah, right. Like I could okay, all right, let's talk comics. But then I was wondering with myself, like what is it about comics that like and it's a little and I'm interested for your perspectives. So I'm hoping you're thinking of a good answer while I'm filling the air here, right? But I was different than you in the fact that I started reading comics as a kid.
Right.
You started in college. You read. You watched a couple cartoons.
Yeah.
I was heavy into the cartoons early, right? So different time frames. We both got real into comic books, and I do think that part of me has that like sense of what Andrea was saying. That like I like the fact that comics that you see characters consistently do the thing that is right, and I always feel like that's what I try to do. Like. It doesn't matter if it's easy. It doesn't matter if it's awkward, if it's embarrassing for you. Inherently, you should always strive to do what is right. And that's what comic book characters do all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes me go back. That's why I think they're compelling stories, right? Like, it's so easy for Spider-Man to see the fire and not give a fuck. Why do I need to go in the fire? There's so many people in the world that would not go into the fire to help people.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to do something. He has, it's the main thing about Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. He has the ability to go do something, and it's right for him to go do it. So he goes and does it. It's not about, and if anything, it makes his life worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not improving his life at any point. And I think all of us, in reality, should strive to do that. The world would be a better place. And that's why I think I go back to it. So I'm curious. But I started out as a child.
Right.
I'm curious to hear your perspective on this. I felt a lot of air, so I hope
No,
you got
yeah,
a thought. I know this is a more serious question again.
So I mean, on the one hand, I 100% agree with you. I do think that that's a big part of why I enjoy comic books, specifically like superhero comic books. Going even a little bit further, I think that's also why I don't even particularly enjoy like anti-heroes. Like why like anti-heroes aren't necessarily my favorite characters. I like the hero, the true hero. Even
that's why you've been getting into Superman lately.
Yeah, exactly. Even characters like Batman, like I know people really like him because he's like, he has that edge to him, right? He's like the Dark Knight, he's the vigilante, like he's all about like fear and like violence and shit like that. And like I know that's why people like him, and I love Batman, but that's not like my go-to. My go-to is the hope, right? The doing the right thing no matter what. So in that case, yeah, I 100% agree with you. That's why I love comic books. I love seeing people strive to do what is right, what is best, what is just good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be a good person. I also love just like the optimism, the overcoming adversity, like all of these things that go into like being a hero. I enjoy almost every aspect of it, of just, and I think also, yeah, the overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
Like you said, like for Spider-Man, like he'd probably make his life easier if he didn't do half this shit.
Right.
But he still
That's like
fucking
all
does
the
it
stories is that.
because he just he has to. If he doesn't, obviously the great power, great responsibility line, but I also like the way they said it in the MCU, which was just like a more simplified version, not so like I guess eloquently put as with great power comes great responsibility, but more so just like if you have the power and then bad things happening, you don't do anything about it, they happen because of you. You didn't do shit about it.
Yeah.
You have the power to stop it, and you didn't do anything, so it's your fault now, right? Like that falls on you because you didn't do anything about it. And like, yeah, I agree. I feel like if people looked at life that way, then it would be a much better world of just like, hey, let's just look out for each other. Like, if you had the power to change something, to do something about a problem, like, it's your responsibility to do it. Like, you should fucking do it. So I do love that. I also love just the fantastical element about it, right? Just of comic books, just being able to be transported into a world where like all this crazy shit can happen. Right? Like I can just escape the troubles and the realism of reality and go into this world of just like magic and fantasy and like just cool shit. Like, I just like cool shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I often wonder though, because like when you compare comic books to other sci-fi pulp culture universes, I don't know the true term for it. Comic books don't, because of like the way that they operate, where like your main characters never quite age. And then you have kind of like your one-off characters that like, you know, they age because they could become a new character, right? You got like Wally West becomes Flash,
right.
Robin becomes Nightwing. So you get to see that age there, but then Batman always kind of stays still.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat to a point, and there's too many like other stories where they focus, where they don't world build quite as well. And you can disagree with me, I'd love to hear it, as other universes. Because instead of continually building the one world, and don't get me wrong, right? Like, we could tell you a lot about Gotham, right? We can tell you, you know, about Arkham, and we can tell you a lot about the Bat family and the different characters and stuff. But like, you just asked me a question about Hogwarts before we started recording. And I was able to give you so much detail on the questions you have because the Harry Potter universe world building has been so thorough, because they didn't focus on like, this is Harry Potter, but this is a universe where his parents lived. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't build a separate thing. They just focused it on building the one thing.
I get you.
And we're both, you know, I completed your book 2 of the Fourth Ring trilogy, right?
Yeah.
They're building the fuck out of this world.
Yeah.
Right? And they're getting all these intricate details. I don't think comics always do it well. And
Interesting.
And I'm not saying like you can't tell a lot, but like, you know, that, you know, they're going to run 150 issues of Batman, and then they're going to start slightly over and run another 150, or they're going to make one subtle change, and that's a different universe. And so you get to see, like, you know, like we talked about Absolute. We get to see what it was like when Bruce Wayne is not a millionaire, but like, we don't get as much detail as some of these other universes.
I see what you're saying. So, I feel like I've had this conversation before, because it's been
hopefully not on this podcast, and I don't remember it.
Because it's been a debate about how. So, you know, manga is insanely popular in America right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, crazy popular. Like, so much so that like if you went into like a Barnes and Noble, the manga section is vastly bigger than the comic book section. Right?
Oh, I think I told you I went into a Barnes and Noble and they didn't have a comic book section, and they had a huge manga one. And I was like, WTF?
Yeah, because it's insanely popular, and the people who prefer manga over comic books will usually give you the same argument, which is manga, unlike comic books, is one story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. There's no this version or this universe or this world or that version or this version. You know what I mean? Like, there's one Naruto story. There's one Naruto that exists. It's one story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. That's it. There's 100 different Batman.
Which is a plus and a minus.
I agree, right? But this is the argument of why people prefer manga, is because you pick up the same story that everybody else picks up. There's no...
Right.
Well, I read this Batman story and you read that Batman story, and I read this Superman story and you read that Superman story, or I have to go back to 1938 to when Superman first started and try to catch up to 2025. It's just the story started You pick up the same story as everybody else. You get the same story.
But I
as
think that's the
everybody else, and then it
downside.
ends. I agree. I think it is an advantage and it's also a disadvantage. And
Right,
on the
because
flip
if
side,
you want to read Superman, you don't need to go back.
I agree.
You could pick up another one that started more recent or has
Yeah.
less issues, and it's going to be a great story. You're going to enjoy it. Because I couldn't imagine if you said, "Hey man, I started reading manga and I got to read 3,000 issues to get through." How many issues in Naruto? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, but there's a lot.
Right, like
I mean, so like One Piece, for example, is like one of the most popular manga, if not the most popular manga currently. I think that manga is on chapter like 1100.
Yeah.
It's over 1100.
I can't. That's a
issues.
disadvantage.
I agree. Now, to be fair,
And how many people have read them all?
a lot. It's one of the most popular mangas in the world.
But you think all these people started with one, and
Yes.
they've read 1,100.
Yes, and I think that's
Mangas.
the point. You can because, and I think that's what the appeal is, right? Because there's well over 1,100 issues of Batman comics, but there's so many different storylines. There's so many different writers and artists and creators who
you
started
could
and
still-
ended and
is it
started.
the
and
same
ended
writers
and started
still?
and ended Batman. Yeah, it's the same writer.
They did the same writer. How old are these people?
Oh, depends. I mean, there's been manga writers who have died before they finished their story.
And somebody else picks it up.
No,
They just end
it just
there.
ends usually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Because
what
I
they
was like,
work-
because you could start with Action Comics, and you could read a complete nonstop story of Superman.
Yeah, I agree. So
You could. Doesn't
yeah, so
sound
that-
appealing
so-
to me, but
so
you could
that's-
do it.
That's the argument with manga over comic books. And to your point, because there's only one story, all of the world building exists and is contained within that one story. Versus comics, they do a shit ton of world building. The problem is that it's not always contained within the one
Right. You got to hop to this
story,
comic and that
right?
comic. and-
Like in this version of Batman, this writer decided that this was going to be true to his version of Batman, but it's not true to this writer's version of Batman, which is not true to this writer's version
Right.
of Batman. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that, I think that's the advantage of comic books. Like, I think that you can choose to delve into with whatever world of that character you want to. And there's so many different worlds that there's something that appeals to everyone, right? One Piece, which is the manga I was just talking about, is about pirates. Like at its core, right? That's a very basic simplification of the story, but it's about pirates. Like if I handed you chapter 1, the first book, it's about a kid who wants to become king of the pirates.
okay.
And he sets out on a journey to do so, right? Again, like that's episode 1. Super, super.
In 1,100 issues, the man hasn't accomplished it.
He hasn't become king of the pirates yet. He's on his way though. That's super basic, but that's issue 1. But here's the thing. If you are immediately like, yeah, I don't really like pirates. That's it. How am I going to convince you to read this story? You don't like pirates.
True.
And even though by the time we're at issue 1,000, the story has evolved so much that it's not just about pirates anymore. There's so much world building that's happened. There's so much this, that, and the other that has happened. The story isn't about pirates anymore. But if I'm pitching it to you without spoiling,
Yeah, you got to
everything,
start there.
You got to start there. The story is about a kid who wants to become king of the pirates. I don't like pirates, man. I don't want to read that, right? But if I go, hey man, have you ever heard of Batman? Which obviously you have. But have you ever heard of Batman? No. Well, it's about this guy who watched his parents be murdered when he was 11 years old, who grows up and inherits his parents' billion-dollar fortune, and he uses his resources to become a vigilante crime fighter who starts off just beating people up in alleys, and it has evolved all the way to working alongside literally the strongest being in the universe, fighting aliens and all this other kind of stuff, right? That's the pitch for Batman. Now, if
You
you
got to
go
add
to
one
read-
thing, because I heard the author talk about it, and I actually like the way he said it.
Go ahead.
Batman's going to get up every day with one goal: to stop crime. He knows he can't do it, but every day he's gonna wake up with the infinite mindset that
he's gonna do it.
That he's gonna do it. He's gonna keep striving to do it.
That's perfect, right?
It's a perfect depiction of Batman.
But if I go, nah, man, that kind of sounds stupid. So you're telling me he doesn't have any powers? No.
But if you want him to have powers,
right? But if in my mind I'm like, dude, I just finished watching Guardians of the or I just finished watching the Hulk or Thor, right? Like these people who have crazy powers, Norse mythology, like all this kind of shit, right? I like Thor because I like Norse mythology, and like that's cool that they incorporated that into superheroes. Now you're telling me I'm supposed to go read about this dude who dresses up as a bat and he doesn't have any superpowers, he just punches people? What? Why would I want to read that? That doesn't even sound entertaining, right? But there's so many versions of Batman that I could pitch you 6 more of like, well, okay, well, what about this version of the character? What about this version of the character? To me, that's an advantage. There's so many different worlds you can dive into.
What if we made Batman an actual vampire? And he has vampires. And are you now interested?
So he just likes bats, or is he a vampire? Well, no, he actually hates bats. He's afraid of them. That's why he decided to dress like a bat. But he's not a vampire. No. But there is a version where he is a vampire.
I can recommend that one too.
Right? What do you like? What do you like to watch? I like Game of Thrones. Well, let me tell you about this time that they made a Game of Thrones story with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, right?
And in that one, Batman does have powers.
That's what I'm saying, right? Or, we're just focusing on like the main shit. There's indie comics. There's all types of stuff, right? Like, there's so many different avenues you could dive into of comic books. There's so many different stories. So like, I don't know. I get frustrated when people are like, well, I thought about reading comics, but I don't know where to start. There's just so much. Bro, just Google it. Just Google best Batman. Like, if you like a character, Google their best stories. Find their best stories, right? Like, just it's not that hard. Like, I don't get this whole like, well,
honestly,
what if I gotta go back? I don't want to start from the beginning. No, you don't have to start from the beginning. You don't want to start from the beginning.
Just try to get a relative complete story. Yeah, because even bad comics are good comics. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really something. Like, we were talking about it before, where I was like, I want to read the comic where Nightwing gets shot.
Right.
If you were to Google this comic and the arc that it goes through, everybody's like, it was painful and it was terrible, and they're so happy it's over. And all I thought to myself is like, I gotta see for myself.
Yeah.
And I started reading it. I was like, I need to know why everybody's upset. I want to be upset about it too. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm left out of the club. Let me see what this thing's about. And honestly, like the comic where he gets shot, and to see Batman go after KG Beast, fucking great. Up to the part where he gets shot. Like the comic book, it's a great comic book. Like an older, experienced Nightwing with Batman doing a mission, and the fucking banter they have, it's hysterical.
Oh, I bet.
One part of the comic book, Nightwing's like, let's play a game. He's like, we're not playing games. He's like, all right, we won't call it a game. We'll call it training. He's like, but we're both gonna jump from this building, and the first one to shoot their grappling hook loses. He's like, fine. He's like, totally a game. And they both jump off. And then like Nightwing's like going back like this. And Batman's like being all serious. He's like, you're about to pull it. I know you're about to pull it.
That's hilarious.
Like the whole comic, the whole way up was so great.
That sounds fun. Is this the comic where Bruce takes over as Nightwing?
Not. Yes. So like eventually, I believe that happens.
Okay. Because I've seen that.
So that does happen within. So it's like yes and no. It happens within the Nightwing time, the Nightwing run. Mm-hmm. Nightwing actually. So like I was reading up on this. What pissed everybody off is Nightwing has his own run running in parallel with the Batman run, and the writer of this Batman comic book stupidly was like, a Bat family member should die. Like, did he not realize there was another comic run that would mess up essentially? And those writers had a plan, so he decides it needs to be Nightwing kind of for that age thing. He's like, because Batman's supposed to be ageless, and like he has Nightwing who like makes him see motor, so this guy's idea was like, I'm gonna kill him. But they don't kill him, So they like Batman number 55. They shoot Nightwing, and then 56 is like just Batman going after KG Beast. And then to get the rest of the story, you need to hop back into Nightwing comics because they don't apparently, and I haven't read it. They don't address it anymore in the Batman comic.
Yeah.
They basically just stop referencing Nightwing, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And so I'm trying to figure it out myself. So I'm like looking for the comic, and like so I go to like the same time, and they have you know how they do like annual stories.
Yeah.
They have the Nightwing annual, which is that story. But then when you go to the very next issue, he's like Nightwing and fine again. It took 50 some more issues for them to like put a little footnote and be like, this comic takes place after Batman 55. Because the writers already had their plan. So apparently he gets shot. And then they do a year's worth of Nightwing comics before they address him being shot again. And then they pick up the story where that left off.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's one of the people annoying because the shooting, like, and he, like, has no memory. And so they call it he goes by Rick, short for Richard instead of Dick. He goes as Rick Grayson. And they're like, the Rick Grayson saga took 2 years to get through because they did it like this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
This is a big tangent. But you know what? Batman is always a great dad
That's true.
to Dick.
That's true.
Transition.
I knew you were going for it.
Ah.
I had some things to say, but I was like, I'm not going to take this away from him because he's really working for this one. And yeah, no, it's good stuff. But yeah, man. So Father's Day just happened. You know what I mean?
What'd you do for your third Father's Day?
Third Father's Day. It's still, you know, it's crazy to still be on the receiving end of like Happy Father's Day messages.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, who you talking to? Me? Oh shit, that's me. I forgot. I am a part of that club now. But nothing really. Just hung out. Talia made me dinner. That was cool. Yeah, man, really just chill. You know what I mean? I feel like Father's Day, not weird, but I don't know. Did you go see your dad for Father's Day?
I was going to. He was under the weather. I always do. This is the first year I think ever he's been sick for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Father's Day can be interesting, man. Because Father's Day, I feel like is one of those days where, like Mother's Day, I feel like the goal is always like give mom a day off, right?
Right.
Like mom's always doing stuff.
You don't feel like you got a day off?
No, I do, but I feel like that's not always the goal with Father's Day. Like it always, because it'll be a situation where like we're all going to see dad, so dad's like, all right, well, let me start the grill. You know what I mean? Like let me do something because everybody's coming to see me. Like you feel compelled to like do things because people are coming to see you. Versus like Mother's Day, I feel like everybody's like, well, let's leave mom alone and give her time and space and like a break. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So. All
right.
But yeah, I mean,
there's a comedian that
like
talks about Father's Day, and he points out that Father's Day,
it's like the worst holiday. It's like listed, like ranked like 20th
or something.
Yeah, I've seen that clip before. Yeah, it is crazy.
And Mother's Day is too. Yeah. There's like a number one is Christmas.
Christmas, he's like, so it's Jesus and then your mother.
And Father's Day lost to like Arbor Day. He's like, I don't even know what an Arbor is.
Like that is. Yeah, I've seen that clip before. It is funny. I mean, you know, I don't have a bad Father's Day or anything like that. So, but yeah, it is always interesting. And also, like, dads always seem to get gifts that are just for them to like do more work.
Oh yeah, there's the new lawnmower.
Yeah, here's some tool. Here's a new drill, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know,
bro. Honestly, like, I don't want tools ever. Like, I can never imagine. No, but I know people. Yeah. Like, that's like their favorite to go buy a new tool. And I very much so have the mindset that like, that's for work. I want you to something for fun.
Yeah. Give me a new comic book. You know what I mean? Like, do something like that. But anyway, no, I mean, Father's Day was cool, man. Like I said, I got to chill most of the day, kick my feet up, you know, got a special dinner made for me. So it was all good.
Nice.
I was chilling. But yeah, so now Father's Day, this episode will be posted a week after. So We post on Mondays, so it's not the Sunday that just passed, but the previous
Sunday.
So we're a little late, I guess.
We came up with this idea afterwards.
We did. We came up with it after the fact. But we're going to be talking about some of the best dads in comics.
Yeah. So this is what we're doing. Comicbook.com. You're familiar with this site?
Correct.
Came up with 2 lists: the best DC dads and the best Marvel dads.
Because we're all about that Marvel DC balance.
We're going to go through both lists real quickly. Say we agree or we disagree.
If they're a good father.
If they're a good father.
Okay.
And then attempt to make our own list combining the 2.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Number 1 on the list, and this, I guess this goes in reverse order, so we're counting up to the best dad. So this is the worst of the best.
Okay.
Thomas.
Are you on DC list? Are you on DC right now? Or Marvel?
DC.
Okay.
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Seems like
Right.
he's a good dad.
Strong moral compass. I mean, in very little time, really made Bruce a good person.
True.
Which carried for
11
the
years.
rest of his life.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he
Solid dude.
made one of arguably most honest and hopeful he raised, I should say, not made, superheroes.
Yeah.
Zatara.
Oh, Zatanna's dad?
Zatanna's
I
dad.
don't know that much about Zatara.
You don't remember Young Justice?
Yeah, but I guess that's all. I don't know him from anything.
I think that's all you need. I feel like that's pretty much the story.
I mean, to be fair, he gave up his life for his daughter. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense,
Yeah.
you did your job. You know what I mean?
And, he raised her. I think this is going to be a fun argument of raising them to fight crime is a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But he raised her and trained her in all the magic. And she's
Yeah.
one of the best sorcerers. Is that what they call them in DC?
Sorceress?
Sorceress in the DC field,
Sorceress.
or the
Yeah.
DC universe. Batman, which is early in the list.
Yes.
Batman is the one we could spend a whole episode
Yeah.
talking if Batman is a good and or bad dad.
Because on the one side, he is a good dad. But on the other side, he is a shitty dad.
Yep, he is somehow both.
He is somehow the best of both worlds.
And it's a little bit fucked up to train, much like I just said for Zatanna. He's trained
You're taking children off the street.
children and making them warriors.
Yeah, literally.
He's got a whole Bat family of basically children that he's fostered to make into an army.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a little bit fucked up.
it is.
But I think he means
well.
he does it with the intent that he doesn't want them to go down the same path. He doesn't want them to become Batman. Right? He wants them to be better than him. Not have the anger or hate, right? I think he does it's ironically, I think he does the best job with the first one because Dick turns out to be great. And Jason's a little
you could
edgy.
argue that Dick is that way because he very much doesn't want to be Bruce.
Right.
Right? It's one of those situations of I see all the flaws in my parent and I don't want to be like them.
I agree. Yeah. But I'm gonna say it's almost downhill-ish, right?
Yeah.
Jason's got his struggles. I guess Tim Drake's fine.
Tim's cool.
I also think Tim got longest with his parents. The others' parents die earlier in their life. And then Damian, but can you blame Batman? I mean, he was raised for the first so many years by the League of the Assassins.
Yeah, literally to be an assassin.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, he's probably really helping Damian.
Yeah.
Next on the list, we got Green Arrow. I thought this was an interesting choice. He has his son's name is Connor, but I think there were more on this list. I was Googling their thought process. They were thinking of Roy. So they were much like how Batman's first 3 children.
Yeah.
So Roy Harper.
Okay.
I don't agree.
No. I don't agree either.
I think he's trying. He's not doing a good job.
No,
I
he's
mean,
not.
Roy was addicted to heroin at one
Correct.
point.
You are correct.
So
sir.
the fact that he's on this list and he beat
Batman is pretty wild.
the fact that he beat the beginning of this, he also beat Thomas Wayne and Jonathan Kent.
If anything, Jonathan Kent should be number 1.
Yeah, he should be very high on this list.
Up there, it's crazy.
Next on the list, also probably surprising, Deadshot.
The fuck? What?
You know, because he does everything. He's does his best.
Deadshot. I don't know why in my mind I thought Deathstroke first. Cause
Yeah, he's real fucked up father.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's terrible to his kids.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. As a dad, right? I get wanting, like, doing whatever is necessary to provide and support your
Which is all this man's doing.
Right. But is there a line?
I think contract killing's the line.
I think
That's,
that might be the line.
That's
yeah.
actually right over the line in reality.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, he's always looking out. Listen, he's killing his way through a college education for his daughter.
He is.
I strongly agree with this next one. Alfred.
Oh yeah, Alfred's great.
He's an amazing dad to all of
the bad children.
All of the bad children.
Yeah, for sure.
Roy Harper.
What?
He has the kid with Cheshire. You know what I'm talking about with Roy, right? Green Arrow?
Yeah.
Or sorry, Red Arrow /
Yeah.
Arsenal / Speedy.
Interesting that he's on the list though.
He's on the list. He's yeah.
Is he that good of a
I
dad?
think he's a solid. He's really looking out for his because the mom is a villain, right? So he's really got to help kind of toe that line. He got over the heroin,
Yeah.
and then he became a good dad.
And this was on the list?
This the third person on the list.
That's crazy. All right. Sure.
This next one I strongly agree with too. Ready?
Okay.
Wally West.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's a solid
Yeah, good
dad.
dad.
He's crushing it out here.
Yeah. He's
I enjoy reading the scenes with him and his children.
Yeah.
And number one, you guess who it is?
Number one
Best dad
in DC
in
Comics.
DC Comics.
Superman.
Superman's
Yeah.
number one with John Kent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was funny because the article was like, other than the fact that he let Jor-El take him and raise him for a while and age him up, and I was like, yeah, that is a really big fucking flaw. But the fact that he's just such a hopeful person, he takes that all into his parenting.
Yeah.
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 All right, we're gonna do the Marvel one, then we're gonna try to. Is there any other ones I should say before we move on that you disagree with on this list? I think we both wanted to take Green Arrow off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I want to take Green Arrow off.
I don't know if I feel super strong by Roy,
Me neither.
but I also feel like I just don't read enough Arrow comics in general to get a good feel on that one.
Kind of what father he is. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he could go too. Obviously. Yeah.
And I probably I like that Deadshot made the list, but he's not.
He's not. That's not a good dad.
It's
That's
not
not
a
a good
good-
father. You're not a good dad.
Okay, this Marvel one, man, I might need your help a little bit with some of these.
Okay. I'll see if I can help you.
Like we know all these characters, but I didn't so this first one I didn't know of these children. Vision is the first one on the list.
Oh yeah, no, Vision's a great dad.
For who?
They're probably referring to the Vision series where he basically has a whole family of androids. So
Yep,
his
it's
wife
Vin and
is
Vin.
an android. His 2 kids are androids. Yeah, that's probably what they're talking about. I mean, I guess they could be referring to him and Scarlet Witch.
No, it's Vin and Vin. But
Okay.
you say Vision, yeah, because I scanned who they're talking about. So it's Vin and Vin.
Okay.
And I thought of the Scarlet Witch and Vision kids, which I guess when
Technically, he's not.
he's not.
Yeah.
I guess.
No.
I mean, he's just as much a father to them as Batman and Green Arrow are to
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know anything about this series. There's a comic book series where he does. So
yeah.
it's just the Vision
fun enough,
family.
I think it's an Eisner Award-winning series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a limited series. It's like, I don't know, man, maybe like 20, 25 issues or something like that. But it's super highly regarded. It's on my list. It's on my Amazon list of graphic novels that I want.
Okay.
But I haven't read it yet. But no, I hear it's great. I hear it's fantastic.
All right.
They're like living in like a small town, suburban home, and just like trying to navigate real life. But they're not. Vision's not like. He's not putting on the persona of being like a human. He's still like in his android form. Like they still have the red and green faces and skins and bodies, and like they just dress like normal people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know they're doing a Vision series. There's a plan for it.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
You think it's gonna be like
Probably. Yeah. I think that's exactly what it's
okay?
gonna
Okay. Next on the list, Wolverine. For both X-23 and, is it Dakin?
Dakin, yeah.
So it talks, the reason is more so for X-23 because he mentors
that,
her. But he's always trying to
First
do
time
right
he's
by
dating,
his...
they just get into a big fight. So, yeah.
Yeah. But I think he's trying to do right by Dakin, but it really is, I think this leans towards X-23 more.
See, I would almost put Wolverine in a similar category.
Of Deadshot?
Not Deadshot. Not quite Batman, but similar to Batman. Mostly because you can also... Wolverine plays a father figure a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like being the leader of an X-Men team... To characters,
see it a lot with
the
the cartoons,
kids,
Jubilee
Kitty
and
Pryde, Jubilee.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They all kind of look up to him as kind of like a fatherly figure. So I can see it like that way, I guess, you know? But I don't know. Is he a good dad? I don't know if he's a good dad. I guess he's all right.
I think he's all right. He's okay. Luke Cage.
Oh, yeah. Luke Cage is solid dad.
He seems like he's doing a great
Real
job.
stand-up guy.
Yeah. They have with Jessica Jones.
Yep.
This one's fun. I wouldn't have thought about this one. Odin.
Oh, shit.
That's a good. I didn't think about Odin. Sure, yeah, that's a good one.
Dad? I mean, he did kind of banish his son and curse him, but it was all for the good of him, though. He was teaching him a hard lesson.
Yeah. I think I think he tried to do right by Loki, and that didn't really go his way either.
That's true. He did do that. He adopted that frost giant baby and tried to raise him.
I mean, it was the end of war, but
yeah,
almost kidnapped him. Really,
and I guess
I actually don't think he's a good dad. He basically stole Loki.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm thinking more of his Thor. Like,
you can't just choose the one kid to make it good. He's got to be a good
true.
dad overall.
That's his big flaw. He definitely played favorites, and you can't do that.
I don't think he's a good dad. Yep.
So yeah, you're right. You know what? You changed my mind. I was gonna try to defend him, but no, he's a shit dad.
Yep.
That guy gave one of them a big magical hammer and gave the other one nothing.
Charles Xavier.
Oh yeah, he's a good dad.
Is he? Is he doing good with Legion?
Is he?
I don't know if he is.
Are they saying? I guess I put him in a similar category as Wolverine because I don't immediately think of his children. I more so immediately.
That's
think
my
of the
problem
fact
with them on the list.
He's running the school.
He's also he's every bit as fucked up as where we put Batman on this list, right? Where like he's taking all these young children and forcing them basically to fight in this war for mutants.
That's true. Yeah.
So across the board, I don't think he's all that great.
Okay.
I think he's good in the sense of like if you're in trouble, like he's gonna save you. So that part's good, right? If you're having issues, you can't control your abilities, he's gonna help train you on that. It's good. It's when he's, now that I've done all this for you, the Juggernaut is coming after me right now. We're half brothers. He doesn't like me very much. If you could go deal with it.
Can you do something about this guy? Because, I mean, I'm kind of stuck in this chair.
That helmet he wears.
And he wears that fucking,
I can't. So if you could go out there.
He's strong, though. Be careful.
Yeah.
He's a big dude.
He's
the size isn't just for show, my guy. Let me tell you. They call him unstoppable for a reason.
Scott Lang. I feel good about this one. He's a good dad.
Yeah, he's a good dad.
Yeah.
He's the better version of Deadshot. Deadshot went to contract killing to be a good dad. He just steals stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like being a thief, whatever.
And he stopped stealing things.
It's true.
Deadshot did not stop killing people.
And then he just became a hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better dad.
We're almost at the end here. We got two more.
All right. Hit me.
Peter Parker.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Great. Man's
Fantastic
crushing
dad.
it.
Yeah. No. Doing a great job.
And then last but not least, Reed Richards. I'm going to need you to help me with this one. I know he has kids. I don't know if he's doing a good or a bad job. I have no idea.
He has his moments, right? Like he is a good dad.
He made a supervillain a godfather.
That is true.
But it almost seemed like it worked to her favor.
It does, because Doom will do anything for Valeria. He will even kill her own father for her. No, you know what? I take it back. Reed's a good dad. He does things that are questionable at times. But he's a good dad. He's a good dad. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I put him number one on the list, though. I don't know if I put him above Peter. But
Comicbook.com would disagree with you. Is there anybody, and I got an example, that is not on these lists that you think should be?
give me your example. Who you got?
So we're crazy and a proud fiance moment. Andrea without missing a beat.
Oh yeah,
Daredevil's dad, right?
yeah.
And that's a good point.
Jack Murdock,
He was
the
doing
dad.
everything he could.
He was. He's a solid.
You know, he was a boxer by trade. He even when he did something, he was gonna throw a fight. He changed his mind because he wanted to make his kid proud. In a his kid got blinded. He was like giving him all the confidence. There's no flaw in this man as a dad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's a good choice. Yeah, he's a good pops. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I mean, you could probably make a small argument for Uncle Ben in
True.
terms of a father figure, right?
True.
I know he dies, but I mean, I guess that doesn't
For those
matter,
few
right?
years,
'Cause,
were solid.
yeah, Thomas died, and they still put him on the list, so that makes sense. Were you looking back at the wall to see if you saw anybody?
I think Black Panther's father's probably solid.
T'Chaka? Yeah, he's
That's a good one.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he raised T'Challa great.
Yeah, he did. He didn't skip a beat on that guy, on that kid, or Shuri. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
both turned out fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anybody else.
All right. Let's make our own list. How many you want to do? Let's do a time check.
Let's do
That'll
top
help us.
five.
Top five? That's perfect. We're at an hour 7. So let's do top 5.
Let's do top 5.
Okay.
The only one, and I don't think they necessarily make the list, but you know, we've been doing a lot of making sure we mention kind of like indie stuff too. So the only indie dad I wanted to bring up was Master Splinter.
Master Splinter's a good choice.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he kind of falls into that Batman realm of like, he taught his kids to be fucking warriors, but at the same time though, he taught them that, but also taught them peace and like, don't use these powers for the wrong things. You know, they kind of took it upon themselves of like they want to be out in the world and fight crime and all this kind of shit. He was more so like, I'm just teaching you this as a matter of like discipline and respect and like all this other kind of stuff. So yeah, Master Splinter's a good dad. It's
a good choice.
He's a good dad. I'm trying to think if there's any other indie dads. I think that's the main.
I think the dad from Umbrella Academy sucks.
Oh yeah, he's
terrible
a piece
dad.
of shit.
Worst dad.
Yeah. Omni-Man, terrible.
Terrible.
The worst dad.
Terrible dad.
Oh my goodness. Man, I didn't even. That one just hit me.
Well,
He's a
that's a good
shitty
example of a
dad.
bad dad.
Yeah, just the worst. We should have also did a list of the worst dad. He probably would have made the
He
top.
would have been the top.
Yeah.
Him, Deathstroke would have been bad.
Fuck.
But all right. Top 5 dads. We're not gonna do our honorable mentions. Let's just keep it to this list.
Yeah. Yep. Just do top 5 dads. You want to start at 1 first, or you want to start at 5? We'll start at 5 first.
Let's
right?
start at 5.
Number
Let's
5.
go.
I'm going to give it to. Who am I going to give it to? Number 5. You know what? I'll give number 5 to Reed.
Number 5 to Reed.
Yeah, I'll give number 5 to Reed Richards. I think he's a good dad. I think he's got
Number
some
5?
weird ways.
I'm trying to narrow my list down.
Okay. I think, yeah, but I feel pretty good with Reed at number 5.
I made it 7. All right, we'll give Reed 5. I think we got to put.
We can't do 2 Batman dads. Because I was going to say Thomas, but I remember you mentioned Alfred. And I feel like I'd rather give it to Alfred over
I agree.
Thomas.
Alfred is higher than Thomas.
Yeah.
This is hard, man. This is hard. 5 there's a lot. I feel like I could go into this 5. I think we go. You know, my problem is that I don't know what my number 1 is.
I know what my number 1 is.
I think we go Reed Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred.
Yeah, I agree.
Wally West.
I forgot about Wally. You really want Wally on that list, don't you?
I think Wally's crushing it out here.
Okay. Peter.
Peter. I was giving Peter for high. So your number 1 is Jonathan Kent or is it Superman?
See, that's where I
almost put Scott Lang in the list.
Here's the thing.
But I agree. I think we're better keeping him off.
Superman wouldn't be as great of a dad if he is if he didn't have Jonathan Kent.
I agree.
So in that
I
sense,
agree. But then that means Superman doesn't even make the list.
Jor-El on the list?
Because he's not a great dad.
He wasn't a bad dad. What was bad about Jor-El? He tried to save the
That
planet.
could be your honorable mention.
He sent his son.
Yeah, he's
away.
kind of a dick when he's in the fortress, though.
I mean, yeah, but that's like an AI version of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his
like,
AI version of him is not great.
Oh, worst dads, Norman Osborn. Put him on that list. He's the worst.
Lionel Luthor, Lex Luthor's dad, also sucked.
Oh, yeah, really? Okay, that makes sense. I
I have a fun episode idea.
get what you're saying though. It does mean Superman.
I'm gonna say
doesn't make
it
the list.
before I forget.
Okay.
So, quick pause. I want to do an episode where we review the original origin stories of villains.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, because
Like-
I heard Lex Luthor's original,
Mm-hmm.
like why he hates Superman, and I was like, that is so damn goofy, and I want to talk about it. We'll keep it for the other episode, though.
In that same episode, because I was also thinking of something about origin stories. I think we do either our favorite. We'll probably do something like top 5 origin stories or something like top 5 favorite
Yeah.
or best origin stories of like heroes, all in the same episode.
Okay.
I get what you're saying though, because if we put Jonathan Kent there,
Then Superman didn't
doesn't
make the list.
and that seems insane. So you know what? I'm bumping everybody down. I'm kicking
So
Reed
Reed's
off.
out. I was about to say the same
Reed's
thing.
out. I'm bumping everybody
Down
down.
one notch. Yep.
Now it's just a matter of who's number 1 and who's number 2.
I'm going
I think
2 Superman,
I
1
agree.
John
Yeah,
Kent.
I agree. Because again, I don't think Superman is the man he is, the father he is, without Jonathan Kent. Nailed that shit.
There it is.
There it is, man. Another
That's the
episode
close
of
call.
Yeah, true. That was the close call, but I think that's the episode.
That's
now,
it.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for leaping tall buildings in a single bound with us this time. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.